Hello and welcome to WomenAscension Mentorship Session 3.08. Today's session is about understanding job opportunities and market trends in the UAE and how to prepare yourself accordingly. So today we have Ms. Samra. I would like to welcome our respected mentor, Ms. Samra. She brings a vast knowledge and experience in the field of job opportunity and market trend in the UAE. Her insight and guidance will be surely be invaluable to all. So I encourage to all participants to actively engage with Ms. Samra during the session. Please feel free to ask questions, seek advice, and share your thoughts. Once again, a warm welcome to Ms. Samra. Ms. Samra, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Fazila. Thank you very much.
Yes, Samra.
Let's just start. And before I start, I apologize to all my audience for the delay of 3 days. I was supposed to conduct this session on Friday, I believe. And due to my illness, I was unable to, and I'm sorry for that. And am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
You can
yes.
call you can address me by my name. And other than that, I will be coughing in and on and off, so do excuse that. I'm going to start with this document. I'm going to share this document, which I developed a couple of months before, and I captured all of my experiences when I came to the UAE and struggled for work. Let me share something with all of you that I I was on a very, very fine post back in Pakistan when I left that job. I was earning a lot when it comes to Pakistani rupees. So I will explain to you that why did I leave and why did I land up here and what was the motive or reason behind it. Okay. In the middle, I will ask a few questions and I would request all of my audience to please participate.
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you. This is the part where I've dedicated the book to people who have helped me throughout my life. Whenever you will have your hands on the book, you can read and also follow them. Okay, in the first chapter, I talk about, like I said, what was the reason that I left my highly paying job and being the second in command of a whole department of an airline. Why did I leave? What was the cause? What was the motivation? And why am I working on a work position which is lower than what I was in my previous company, but way better in many ways? So first of all, like it says that when I was a child, I always thought about leaving the country. I am from Pakistan, and I I could never plan it. I would always give myself an excuse when I came into a working life. I always gave myself an excuse as to why I cannot leave my country. Sometimes it was education that I need to complete. Sometimes it was family. Sometimes it was the promotions I was getting at my current work. I was always giving myself excuses. So, however, there was a lot of struggle from my end. I always had a very, very struggling life. So I moved on and I started to enjoy my work with my previous company, the acknowledgement, the power I was getting in my previous role. So I was getting more and more comfortable and I had a lot of authority. Now, let me share something with you.
Yeah, ये fine वाला दिला दो fine का ground है ना fine का second floor है कितने में बेचा है
Hello. Somehow I got muted. That
Yes,
was not.
ma'am.
It was not my background. So, like I was saying, I was in my comfort zone completely, and again I was giving myself excuses, and there was a point where I kept the thought of leaving the country to a side. So, in 2008, I was conducting a session with pilots and some cabin crew, and in Islamabad. 2018, and I completed this session, and one of the pilot at the end of the session asked me for advice on something. While I gave my advice, the thing that he said, and I still remember, he said, "Yes, ma'am, you're right, absolutely right, but your advice is applicable in this environment, in the environment of this organization. When I look at your advice, it is not applicable globally or out of this organization." And trust me, that simple thing, that two-liner sentence, it just blew my mind off. It is still with me. It is in my mind, and it is like somebody has chalked it all over my mind that my advice is not applicable globally or generally. It is only and only applicable in the four walls of this organization. And that was probably the kicking moment that when I started reading on how to become more self-persuasive, wherein you tell yourself to do things. It is a very difficult thing, by the way. And you convince yourself to step up and do things the way you want. That was the point. I started self-actualization, where I started to read myself that, hey, I'm completely disconnected with the world, and this gentleman is not wrong. He was very polite, by the way. So what happened that thinking about all of this, I started working on myself by doing some, I'm going to tell you superficially, and then we're going to go deep into it. I started working on myself by reading books, anything that I could do in low cost manner, by doing certifications that are provided online and are very low cost in when it comes to money. However, gives you a very good lesson. And then I started adding it to my CV. So and then on the other side, I started spending very, very carefully. In today's world, yesterday I was reading an article that in today's world, the youth has difficult chances of securing a property and or make savings. I disagree with that, because no matter what kind of era you are in, if you are ahead of your times, if you're thinking ahead, then trust me, you will be able to achieve your goals. What do I mean by ahead of times? Can somebody tell me?
Maybe, ma'am, that the way we control our time.
Okay, lovely. Thank you, Fazila. Somebody else? What is a simple line? Be ahead of your time. Fazila has given a...
Please revise the question, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I'm asking, I said that you have to be ahead of your time in order to be successful in the world. What is the meaning of being ahead of your time?
It means we have to control our time by our own discipline.
Okay, lovely, Shabana. Thank you. What else? Anybody else? Do not scared of being wrong because there are no wrong answers.
Updated with contemporary reforms and uh, stay tuned with future perspectives.
Okay, lovely. Can you elaborate a bit on it, Waqar?
All right. Uh, to be ahead of current trends, ideas, and technology, and to have a vision for future. That's it in simple words.
Beautiful. I would stick with the word you used, vision for future. Being ahead of your time means stop living in present, start living in future. Your mind is not just an organ which controls your body. Yes, please, Lillian. I see a raised hand.
It's being ahead of time.
Ahead of time. Yes, please.
ahead of time يعني we do something in advance
Beautiful.
to the future. Yeah,
Beautiful.
with
Yes.
schedule that. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. For example, parents do this for us all the time. When we are born, they start saving money for our education, for our needs, for our basic needs. And then when we mature up, they start saving for wedding or for higher education out the country. So let's think that we don't, for once, that we don't want to put that pressure on our parents, because I did my complete journey from the age of 13 years. I'm working completely. I looked after myself and also my family and made this real for me. So being ahead of time, you need to understand your mind, and please take notes. Please, I will be very happy if this single line, it absorbs in you today. Your mind is not just not an organ controlling your body. Your mind is another personality, is another person which is actually controlling you. You need to take over your mind. You need to tell it that this is the date and year I will be in so and so country for this purpose. You must have read or heard about manifestation and planning. Trust me, when you start putting your thoughts on a piece of paper, not on mobile, don't type. When you write down your thoughts on a piece of paper, you start planning, you start putting dates. Trust me, you accomplish it. Why do I say that? That gentleman who said to me that my advice is not applicable beyond the four walls of the organization was very right. I did not take offense. I actually took it as a valuable feedback for myself, and I started working on it. First, I started reviewing what is it that I know. And trust me, we don't know what we don't know. This is a very important phrase of my life, that we don't know what we don't know. So when we start realizing that there is so much in the world that we do not know still, then you really start to freak out. Then I started understanding my own self. I started to buy books, which are very low cost and very effective books. So I came across a book, which I believe I still have it somewhere. And it was written in a beautiful, simple and easy English language. And it was all about planning. It was only and only about planning. And the way it is written, it's so persuasive that I did not even find out. I was not even aware when I started to follow what was written in the book, and I started doing it subconsciously. Subconsciously, I started saving money. I started reading more and more. I started working on my personality more and education. Other than academic education, I started to work on my skill education more, my transferable skills more. Transferable skills are those skills which are applicable in any industry, any company, not specific to any company. So I worked really hard. That was in 2018 that this happened. I remember it was July. I started reading that book in January 2019. And I believe I started saving right after February 2019. And I still have my diary where I have written notes to myself, addressing myself that this is what I need to do. And I have given dates to myself in that diary. And I had written amount that I would have been, that I will be able to save by which date. And I have also written the date on which I will be flying out of the country after securing a house for my mother. So I'm gonna go back to the book. This is the first picture I took. I'm gonna go back to my journey after this picture. Everybody can see this picture. What do you see?
Windows,
A window of aeroplane. Maybe it's your
Window
first
of
trip.
aeroplane.
Yes, it's a window of the aeroplane. Any idea why would I put this window picture?
I think it's maybe your first trip or the first step of your
The
success.
first flight. Maybe.
Okay. I was in aviation for 18 years, so I might have taken thousands of flights and slips to international slips. But this picture is very dear to me because this picture is taken from the flight that was taking me out of the country forever. I purposely took this picture and I knew that one day I will be writing it down somewhere, and I knew I will be sharing this with very intelligent and courageous people like yourself. And look at it. Look, I am doing it today.
Maybe this window is in new futures, new dreams,
Beautiful.
new job
That's what it
opportunities.
implies. This is exactly what it implies. I always call this picture window of opportunities, because trust me, when I left my country, I will continue to remind you, I was not unsuccessful in my country. I was in one of the highly paid class. I was not unsuccessful. Yet, when I came here, I saw the difference. Now I will move back to the story. When I started saving in 2019, remember in 2020, COVID came.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
COVID
It was
came.
fun.
So I want to highlight that. I want to highlight that to you, that it affected my plans deeply. However, it did not change my date of departure from my country. It affected me financially, but it did not change my date of departure from the country. Why? Because in my plan, I had kept a number of months as a buffer. A buffer is a period, a shock absorber, which absorbs any kind of shock when it comes to your planning. Let's say cars have shock absorbers, you know that. So I had kept some time buffer and financial buffer because I was saving from way before. So it is always good to save, let me tell you. What do you know about comfort zone, everybody?
Comfort zone is a place or a group of people or a work area that you're very comfortable with, that you most usually like to be there and don't want to leave.
Lovely. Why don't people want to leave? Do you know?
They feel comfortable there. They feel familiar with everything. They already know about
Comfort
that.
zone, in my opinion, it's about يعني to have and what this about and try to try to try
Mm-hmm.
to try to do new things with the new with new things with
Yes.
and for
Yes.
I
Avoid.
forgot thoughts and
That's
to take
correct.
it and to take it challenges and and to start new
Thank,
things on this one. So the
thank you.
person I agree.
Maybe a place or situation that where someone feel confident or comfortable.
When someone feels comfortable in one place, that's correct. Yes. I see another mic of a Zoom user.
Yes.
Unmute.
Ma'am?
Yes.
May I
Yes,
say?
please. Yes, Haris.
Yeah, a comfort zone also, we can say it's a settled method of working that requires little effort. It means that if you stay within your comfort zone, you will never improve. This is
Exactly.
another meaning of comfort zone.
Beautiful, Haris. Beautiful. Yes, Amna. Everybody's welcome.
Okay, ma'am. So comfort zone refers to feel easy and comfortable without mental stress and or any anxiety.
Lovely. Now, before you go, I will ask everybody next question. My next question is comfort zone good or bad?
Bad.
Ma'am, may I say?
Yeah. Haris, yes, please.
Yeah. I think comfort zone, besides its goodness, maybe it have a lot of side effects because comfort zone will settle a person on a scope that it's like a routine work. It's the work of or maybe working a person in a like a routine, and if he or she don't face with any challenges, maybe need new challenges, they will not improve.
That is so
For
true.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And
I think the side effect or maybe the strengths of comfort zone is more than its good effects because it will make a person lazy.
exactly. Lazy,
Yeah.
and it will stop the growth mindset. Yes,
Yes.
somebody
Yes.
said, if I may answer, yes, please. You can, Asra and Aisha, you can take part in it. Unmute. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Comfort zone as a person, if I am sitting in a room, in my personal room, and I'm feeling comfortable there, then it's okay. I'm okay with that comfort zone. If it is if comfort zone, we can say, as a learner, then I will never ever feel good in a comfort zone, because
Exactly.
I always want to learn each and everything. To be very honest, I always want I always want to do risky things. The thing which I cannot learn, which I cannot pick, then it will be the best thing that I will learn it in a very best way. If I
Yeah.
feel very comfortable at that learning point, then it will be not good for me. So in my views, comfort zone is as a student, comfort zone is a dangerous thing for me.
Lovely.
Thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
I would agree with that. Thank you. Yes, Asra.
Well, I do agree with them, ma'am, and I also think that a comfort zone is a zone, like it's like a cycle. You get comfortable with something that happens usually, that you have already done that several times, and you've already learned everything about it. So if you want to advance to a new level, if you want to achieve something new, you should always take risks and you should take a step forward. And that
You,
means that you're stepping away comfort zone. And I think staying in the same comfort zone for too long is dangerous because when you stay in it for too long, you cannot improve anymore. You're doing the same old thing again and again, and you're not learning anything new. And when you're not learning, everyone around you is improving, but you're standing in that same step. And that's, I think that it means that being left behind than everyone else, and being left behind from the future that you plan for yourself.
thank you so much. Thank you. And I will sum it all up. Comfort zone to growth is exactly what a rust to boat is. Rusty boat cannot go into water. A mind which is settled in its comfort zone cannot step into growth zone. So why do you think people don't like to come out of their comfort zones? Just a thought, any thought, 2 or 3 people. Why do you think that people do not like to come out of their comfort zones?
Ma'am, maybe some of them are afraid of that,
Afraid.
afraid of some situations or some facing something.
Exactly.
Maybe they get
Anybody
too
else?
used to their daily lives that they don't think that.
Maybe they are shy.
Sorry, Asra?
Ma'am, can I add some?
Yes, please.
Maybe, ma'am, people often resist leaving their comfort zone due to fear of the unknown, fear of failure.
Beautiful. I will answer this. How to change, don't remind me before we end this session, how to change unknown into known. Not
Okay,
100%,
ma'am.
but I will give some tips that worked for
Okay,
me.
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you for raising this up. Thank you so much. So yeah, people, they don't like to step out of the comfort zone because they have the biggest thing that comes to your mind, which is very right, that is fear. There is fear that is part of anything and everything new, and some people have the stomach to face it and some people do not have the stomach to face it. But remember one thing, if you are the one who is stepping out of their comfort zone, please know that you cannot make people feel small if they are not or unable to come out of theirs. Okay, it's not their fault, it's just that they need some more help. Okay, now the reason I asked this question is this beautiful diagram I always refer to. It is taken from this address. You see, there is comfort zone in the most small circle, then immediately comes after which zone?
The fear
Which
zone.
fear zone. Like
Yeah.
people, whatever you gave me as an answer, the first thought in your mind that came to you was fear zone. So don't think that it is specific to one person. Fear is specific to one person. No, we all, 8 billion of us, we we think exactly the same when it comes to stepping out of our comfort zone. Please know that comfort zone is not an easy thing to step out of. It is a big challenge, but it is not an impossible thing. Okay? It's not at all an impossible thing. Please know that, because if somebody like me can do it, if somebody like me with average sense of what's happening in the world, or maybe below average at some point, then people like you who are in prime of their lives, they are in this session, then I think you can achieve it way before than I did in my life. Okay, so fear zone comes after comfort zone, and you can see what's written in all the circles. Then comes the learning zone. This is the zone where you are bombarded with new skills, new things, and new knowledge. And this is the point. So if I put my story in this diagram, so for number of years, I was in my which zone?
Fear zone.
Comfort zone. Fear
I was,
zone.
oh yes, I was in my comfort zone big time. I was just stuck there and I was happy, and I was not ready to come out of it. I used to push the thoughts behind whenever it used to surface that I have to leave the country for work. I have to leave the country for work. So I used to bury the thoughts because I was very comfortable in where I was. Then suddenly I got this gentleman who said that my advice is not applicable. Then I tried to step out of it, and I entered into the fear. And exactly these were my thoughts. I was not confident whether I will be able to do it. I was afraid of failure big time. I was making excuses at that time as well. That sometimes I would say I will not be able to make money. Sometimes I would say I have a family to look after. Who will look after them? Sometimes I would say, do I have enough skill to adjust myself in an international job market where people from West come? So yeah, I had all of these problems in my head. But the best part about my thought process was I did not relapse from fear zone. I did not go to the comfort zone, back to the comfort zone. I stepped moving forward. Okay, so that's where I'm going to answer this thought somebody just raised of fear of the unknown. I had the fear of the unknown, the failure. What if I fail? That's when I actually, and I'm not saying I did my planning in my mind. No, sir. I did not do any planning in my mind. I did all my plannings on my computer when I used to make my budget, and all my plannings in my diary. So that my mind, when I write it down, it reads it back and it feeds it back. And your mind is another person telling you. It's working independently on its own. You let it work the way you want it to work. Now, moving on, after COVID, when COVID came, I started to work more and more on I was home for 83 days. We were working from home. I was, like I said, in an airline. and airline business was the biggest business industry that was hit by COVID was airline and hotel industry. So we were home for 83 days to be exact. And for 83 days, I did almost 3 to 4 certifications that were really, really beneficial for me. And I started to use strengthen my LinkedIn a lot. I was always a big fan of LinkedIn. I started to work on it a lot, and I started to replicate successful people's profile. And that gave me some time there. And when we started working again, then I saved some more. And I continued doing, I stayed in my learning zone for good 2 years, I would say, after COVID, when we started, because there were limitations and world was not ready to accept more incoming people who want to get recruited. There were no job openings. So I utilized, that was a big hit for me, let me tell you. That was something unknown to the entire world. But now, when I plan my future, guys, I always take into account everything that is unknown to us. I give time buffer and I give financial buffer. Okay. So I was in my learning zone for good 2 years. And in 2021, later in 2021, in November, I came to the UAE to assess the job market. Now, I was blessed to do that because I had some financial strength. I'm not expecting everybody to do it. I'm not expecting you to do it. I'm expecting you to take information from people like us. So you save time and money. And whenever you come prepared. I came for 2 weeks and I started trying myself in interviews. And as luck would have it, I was offered around 2 jobs. One of the job was entry level. I'm not going to lie to you. One of the job was very nicely paid job. However, since it was an experiment, I left and came back to the country. And I started saving more. And the date that I'm going to reveal the date that I gave myself of to leave my country was 31st October 2022. The date I actually left the country was 5th November 2022, 5 days after what I planned or preempted. This is the power of planning. This is the power of writing your thoughts down. This is the power of listening to somebody who is giving you an advice. And you know, I took a course on how to make a CV which is accepted in the Middle East. I made that CV according to it, every single thing. I sent it to people, and this is my current profile of LinkedIn, and my current CV is the reason that I was able to secure many interviews. So my journey lasted for 3 or 4 years. So I lost a lot of time. I don't want that to happen to you. So you must understand that every single moment of your lives is required to be planned. You need to know where you will be after 5 years. You need to understand that the planning should be as such that you have a planner, a paper planner or a device planner, and you have it in place, the dates, that what are you doing on which date, at which date will you have a certain amount of money. The biggest problem, there are 2 limitations that come to our youth's way, come into your way when they come to the UAE to secure a job. Number 1, financial weakness. Number 2, skill gap. Okay. Sometimes people who are very strong in skill and strong in presenting their self while they talk, the way you all talk, it's amazing, it's beautiful. This is what's required. So when people have strong skills, they are able to cope up with the financial challenge and they secure a job very quickly. But when people have less or a skill gap, there's a skill gap in them, they exhaust their savings and they have to come back to the country, sometimes unsuccessful, but it's a good experience. So you need to plan and understand the market. Okay. Can somebody describe this picture? It's one of my favorite again.
Ma'am?
Yeah, you have to learn more and you have to read more and you have to make more courses in order to save your career growth like this.
Yeah. Yes, Harris.
Ma'am, as you told before, it is something, it have two aspects. One, if you read more, you will learn more and your career will grow. And the other aspects of this picture is that you said that make a plan, write it somewhere, and then get a feedback to your mind. It will be on that time you'll be a mindset person, so you can achieve your goals or achieve your plans on time, or maybe on the exact time that you want to apply it or you want to get it. I get two things from this.
Okay, thank you. Beautiful insight. Okay, Asfia.
I think this picture refers to the knowledge and the skills you have, or you have to acknowledge your skills and the knowledge that you have, and that know about your skills.
Asfia, your contribution is not clear, so please write in chat box if you may. Yes, Asra.
And I think it shows that someone is sitting and they're reading themselves objectively. When you read yourself objectively, you can find what you have.
Lovely. I'm sitting with highly qualified people. Thank you for giving me time. Thank you so much for giving such beautiful insights of this picture. This is a very meaningful picture and all of you got it very, very right. Yes, it is high time that we start reading ourselves. There are numerous sayings about this fact that we have learned and read millions and millions of books. It is high time that we read ourselves. And this is a metaphorical picture. Yes, this is just an example, but how to read yourself requires pen and paper. My life highly depends on pen and paper. Pencil, to be precise. I like pencils. I would urge all of you to have a notebook and a pen along with it and put down your thoughts. How do you solve a problem? Half of the problem is solved when you capture it in writing in a form of paper and pen. Do you know that fact? Okay. Nice. Know yourself, acknowledge skills and abilities. Thank you for writing, Asfia. So this is one of my favorite illustrations, and it is going to be the part of the wall art, which is of the institute I'm coming up with in my home country. And these two pictures will be on the wall of the institute. So this book, or rather guide, I would say, it has good excuse me, 9 chapters. You can, I'm not going to go through all of it. I'm going to just give you some brief one by one, and then we can open the house for questions. Number one, preparation before leaving the country, whenever, especially for the Middle East, whenever you are coming, A, you must be financially sound. B, you must have covered majority of your skill gaps, and I can give you platforms, I can give you many application names that will allow you to have certification courses in very less amount of money. I will also help you understand how to present yourself in the market remotely, how to think of yourself like a product. You are a business owner and you are a product yourself. How would you want the product to be sold? Of course, you will tell customers about its qualities. So yes, how do you want, recruiter is your customer, how do you want to sell this product to the recruiter? Think like that, it will help you. Now, types of visas, it has a little brief on what type of visas are there, and you have to study before you apply. Visit visa and extension, what are the laws around it? What can be, how can you be at risk if you don't comply to these laws? And what kind of money revolves around it? Budgeting, very, very important before you come. You have to budget. You have to know that after you land there, after 2 months, or in case you are extending your visa, you're staying here for good 4, 5, 6 months. So you must understand at the end of 5-month period, how much will I be left with in case I don't secure a job. So this is the type of budgeting that helps you combat the unknown. Discipline. It is very easy to tell yourself, I am disciplined. However, very difficult to be disciplined. I call myself an irregular or unorganized person because I struggle with being disciplined. I am 40 years old. I struggle with being disciplined because I am a human being as well. So, majority part of my time of a day is disciplined. However, some part is still it requires help. However, I can help you become more disciplined. Again, requires a lot of planning on with pen and paper. LinkedIn and CV, this is how you sell yourself as a product to a recruiter. This is your ad. This is how you like to be seen in front of the recruiter. The company I work with here, I asked, I'm very inquisitive. I ask a lot of questions to people. So I asked the recruiter who made the first call to me. I said, how did you find me? She said, you applied on our job site. And I since I was using many platforms, so I said, which platform did I apply to your position? So she said, LinkedIn. I said, so was my LinkedIn okay? She said, your LinkedIn was so powerful that I just spent probably 6 to 7 seconds, which is an average time of recruiters to be spent on any CV, by the way. She said, I hardly spent 7 seconds, and it was very easy for me to make the decision that you are the right person for this job. And after I was recruited, I was told that there were some disagreements towards the position, not me, towards the position I'm on, that some part of the company owners, some management of the company was saying we are not ready to open this position, whereas the boss who hired me fought for this position where I'm at right now. And when they found me, they fought more and more. So please, I did not meet that person on LinkedIn before. I was very active. I was posting every other day. I was interacting with people. I was sending requests to many people. My target used to be, while I was in my home country, my target used to be every weekend 150 connection requests I have to send. And how to send, I will tell if somebody reaches out. Your LinkedIn is your ad and you are a product to a recruiter. Recruiter is your customer. Think like that. How to ace interviews. I also have made a course and I've completed several. I believe I've done my previous session with all of you on interviews, I think. Yeah. And be very careful. There are certain, here also, there are certain entities which would take advantage of people who are in need, like you and I, and they would ask for money to put your papers forward or you will be hired. Please, I beg you, do not do this. There are no companies that take money for hiring or processing papers. And government is very strict on this here. Then the last is the how to enter and how to embrace the new environment. Sometimes you do feel disconnected, but when you keep yourself busy and healthy and keep exercising, you will understand that there's much more, a lot more that we are missing back in our home countries, which is not present in our home countries, which is here. So, and why UAE? I'm going to share with you now. The reason I selected UAE because it is easy to enter into UAE. And also, excuse me, you interact with more than 170 nationalities. In my company alone, there are 27 nationalities working. So you have a lot to learn. I have a lot to learn. Please, this is the time you can invest in your growth. Leave the comfort zone. Okay. I will keep this on display, and if anybody has any question, we can move to the question round. And if I have completed the purpose, let me know.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Concerning the comfort zone, boss يعني, it depends on any person perspective. Maybe me, I am afraid. Maybe the other is uncomfortable. Maybe the other is less of confidence like this. And the other thing, I am here in the UAE. I struggle when I come here to the UAE 1 month. 1 month, I'm searching for a job. I give up. Then I find a job. Um, Now I'm working at artificial intelligence business. I'm now alhamdulillah, but the first thing that when you come to UAE, yeah, you don't give up because this this country for work, for job, for people. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Lillian. Thank you so much for adding this. And it's a beautiful advice. It is so easy to give up, but people like you are not easily available who can share that don't give up, you will get there. So yes, thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for sharing your personal experience as well. Yes, anybody else?
I think no one have any questions.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ms. Samra. We are truly grateful for the time and effort you have invested for this mentorship session. We are patient for helping other citizens. And great, we're so fortunate to have you in here to learn from you. Thanks so much.
And if someone else has any question, they contact you, please direct them to me. I will
we will
display.
share the LinkedIn.
You can connect me on the LinkedIn
Sure.
or my contact details.
Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And please, can you send us the slides?
Ah, yes, I'll send it to Fazila. She will send it to you, or
Okay.
you can call me on this number.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Nice to
Thank
meet you.
Thank you.
Everyone, you can leave. Ma'am Mahin, are you here? We'll send the PDF in the group, and we will send Ma'am Samra LinkedIn profile in the group. Don't worry about that.
May I exit?
Yeah, ma'am, sure.